Hey folks, by popular request, I've been asked to draw a Demogorgon from Stranger Things, so I thought I'd go ahead and show you some techniques that you can use to draw a Demogorgon using some digital drawing techniques that might come in handy for you. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one of the petals of the Demogorgon, and I have a reference on a separate monitor here, and you can adjust your Demogorgon to taste. There are a lot of different variations of this critter, and I'm just going to attempt to create something that looks very similar to what you see on Stranger Things. So I've got this one petal here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this petal, I'm going to hit the transform tool, and I'm going to move the pivot point. And if you don't see the pivot point, check on your options menu here and make sure that the pivot is checked. And we're going to move the pivot down somewhere roughly, give it a little bit of space. I'm going to say it's roughly an inch, but you can look at what I've got here and do something similar. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put an appropriate angle. Now, if I'm going to create 5 petals total, I have to think about the fact that 360 degrees divided by 5 gives me 72 degrees. So that's the number I'm going to type in over here, and you can see all of a sudden this petal has rotated. So let's now deselect, and we're going to use a really awesome keyboard shortcut called Shift-Option-Command-T or Shift-Alt-Control-T on the PC, and you get your 5 petals right away. So now what I can do is I can merge this, and I can scale it down. I can modify the mouth now. So the mouth is not totally round like this. So I can get rid of the interior, and the mouth kind of fans out like so. And of course I'm drawing this version straight on, but that's I think the scariest view of this guy. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to work a little bit more efficiently here. I'm going to turn on my vertical symmetry, and I'm going to drag that vertical symmetry tool. Actually, let's turn off the transform controls here. We'll just drag this to roughly about the center. It's not quite on the center here because I need to now rotate my petals just to make it totally symmetric for this example. And on a new layer, I'm going to draw the teeth. And what I'm doing here is if I draw on one side, I'm getting an exact copy on the other. And later on, I'll modify this and make it less like a copy, but it does save you some time. And of course, these teeth are large and small. So we're already knocking out the head relatively quick. And again, you can add the details as you see fit. And then for the mouth, what I'll do is I'll just use a few of the distinguishing features here, like the gums. And then I'm going to turn off the symmetry tool so I can actually add some irregular shaped teeth, maybe some drool. And I believe there's actually another mouth on the inside here with smaller teeth. And I can fill that in with some value. I can add a little bit of hatching. And I'll add a little bit of drool and spittle, because why not? So, and then we've got this area over here that kind of overlaps. Never thought a flower can look scary, but hats off to the character designers of the Demogorgon, because this thing is probably one of those terrifying creatures in science fiction that I've seen. And let's go ahead and make some of these teeth stand out. Okay. And then, just for giggles, just add a little bit of variation here. You don't want it to look so obvious that you've used the symmetry tool. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just come back in and add a few random elements here just to kind of, break this up so it looks less obvious. If people can tell that you've used the symmetry tool, then it's not such a good sign. All right, so now that I've got that, I can go ahead and merge the whole thing. I'll scale this down for effect. And the next thing I'll do is I'll draw the torso. Now I could have him standing upright, but I want to do something a little bit different. I'll just go ahead and make a new layer here and just draw a line of action for the body. This is going to be a simplified version of the spine of the Demogorgon. And we have a rib cage here. So this rib cage kind of looks something like this. And again, just getting the basic forms. And then he's got like this protruding stomach, it's got some hollowness to it. And again, not worried about details at this stage. And then he's got a shoulder blade. He's got his upper arm. And let's just go ahead and move this upper arm like so. And it looks to me like he's got 5 fingers. So we'll just have, this is the basic shape here. So we'll have one of his thumbs. He's got those super sharp nails. Again, blocking this in, not super concerned about details. And of course, you've got some musculature, you've got the biceps, you've got the triceps. He's very gangly, I guess is the best way I could say it. And then we'll do the same thing down here. Don't be too precious with your drawings. Just have fun with it. It's okay if you mess up. It's not a big deal. Important thing is that you're having some fun with it. You're practicing. And you're being able to apply some of the techniques that I'm showing you here to go ahead and just make life a little bit simpler. It's not always about finding the fastest way to draw something, but when you're under deadline sometimes, you have to draw it fast. You have to show a client a comp relatively quickly. So these are some of the techniques that I use to make my life a lot simpler. So now that I've got this, obviously I'm going to have to adjust this if I want to get his legs in. So I'll just go ahead and merge these 2 layers in, hit Command T. And now I have to figure out what I want to do with the feet. So what I'll do is I'll have one of the feet kind of bent like so. And the other is going to be bent, and it will kind of be a little bit further back. And the plane for this foot, the plane for this foot, they're separated. And so we'll go ahead and draw some of his musculature on his feet. And it looks like he had some kind of a nail in the back. And he's got some webbing on his feet, but you can't really see that too much from this angle. And so now I've got my first draft for this Demogorgon. And I'm adding some shadows here just to go ahead and give some visual interest. I'll probably throw some shadows back here just to give some more separation between the foreground leg and the background leg. But there you have it. You've got this really cool keyboard shortcut. It's Shift, Option, Command T. It just makes a duplicate of whatever you have on a layer. It's a pretty powerful keyboard shortcut. Not a lot of folks know about it within Photoshop. Some of these techniques can be pretty easily replicated within Illustrator. Illustrator has a really awesome radial tool that you can use. But the challenge here is to go ahead and use Photoshop and find ways of making it work for you. So I hope you found this video to be informative. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.